So I would drive up and then just do like the last few hours of hiking to get to see the lava. Don't feel the need to torture myself through another difficult hike.
I'm just trying to pass the time. This is miserable. We can already see the top of Machu Picchu. This sucks. Good thing we came in the off season.
I'm never doing this shit again.
And man, that hike was not easy. There were people less fit than me who did it, but the thing that I didn't know was that people who did it trained for it. Even the guide who we were talking to said that he trained for it. So I'm going to tell you what it's like as like, I don't know, I've run before in my life, but I'm not particularly in shape. But check back in a few months and I will be. Yeah, I struggled during this hike.
All right, friends, we just reached the 10-minute mark. Already took a break. The hike is like straight uphill.
It was difficult because it was, like starting right from the very beginning. We went up pretty high altitude where we got dropped, and that was like the base of the mountain. And walking up was very steep. I don't know, maybe like a 45-degree incline, more or less. And we were stepping in sand.
So it's literally a dust storm. It tastes great. Feels great in the eyeballs.
So like each step, your foot kind of gets stuck, you fall backwards a bit, like slide down a bit. Literally within the first 30 seconds of starting to do this and be like, wow, this is like step one of, I checked on my phone, it was about 40,000 steps within 28-hour period from starting to getting back down. And so yeah, 40,000 steps at a steep incline at pretty high altitude. It was what, like 3,000 meters?
We're about an hour into the hike. We can already see the top of Machu Picchu.
It was very tiring. I thought that it was hard. And then we would take some breaks periodically. But I noticed that I would take breaks more often than the guide, because I would get to the point where like my heart rate was like super high. And I'd just be like, which was like really good in terms of exercise, but doing that for the whole 7-hour hike.
So guys, here's the view from the front of the line. This is what it's like to be the fastest.
It was difficult, and then also like covered in sweat but in cold, so it felt like I was wearing wet clothes in a freezing place.
Oh, it's all wet now.
Yuck.
Why? Because my shirt is all sweaty. Step 4 is be cold for a little bit.
Like the hike was cool, like good adventure. I think that it was more challenging compared to Mount Rinjani in Indonesia. Rinjani was like tougher because it was over the course of 3 or 4 days. And so we had to kind of drag out the discomfort of wearing the same clothes and sleeping outside and this and that. But Aconcagua was harder because it was like steeper. We made our way to the top.
I think maybe I see a base camp up there. Athletes.
And the campsite was like cool. It was like pre-made tents. I guess a lot of the guides there, or like all the different tour companies kind of have their own section around the base camp area. So you can't see or like interact with the other tour guides. And they're kind of pre-made buildings. So there would be like, some wooden tent, not a tent, but like some sort of like wooden structure. Didn't do a good job of keeping the cold out.
All right, guys, we're in our room. It's a wooden tent. I finagled our way into a private room.
And that was the thing when we got up there, was it was freezing. Like we were well above the clouds. So it was a cool view, but it was very cold. I was wearing hoodie, sweatpants, and then the guide rented us like winter coats to wear and gloves and a, what's that thing called? Beanie. It was cool. It was freezing.
I'm going to show you how to go to the bathroom while camping. Step 1 is stand up. Ow. Hello, bush. You're getting some pee. Yeah, there's, different ways of peeing. Everyone's got their own flavor. I do consider myself a bit of an expert. I've been peeing for almost 30 years. So, follow who you like, but that's just how I think it should be done. All right, guys, enjoy your next outdoor peas.
The group was like hanging out, playing music and playing games and stuff.
Yo, what's up? How are you feeling?
I'm good. Have some banana bread.
Happily.
I just got some in my hand and then it fell.
But I couldn't do it. I was freezing. So I kind of just laid in my sleeping bag until 2:30 a.m. when we were woken up to go climb the volcano.
I don't have to either be a coward or suffer. So instead, we're waking up at 2:30 a.m. and we're going to go to the one with the fire, like the color of my hat. And we're going to watch the lava at night. And then in the morning, watch the sunrise, and then come back here, have breakfast, and get the fuck out of here and go.
And climbing the volcano was like really difficult because of the incline because of the slippery. So I felt like I wasn't on hands and knees, but a lot of times I would like fall forward and need to grab something and not slip back. Similarly, like heart rate felt like it was very high, which because, you know, climbing steep, moving fast. So we reached the top and we knew that there would be no lava. Like you could see the volcano area from the base camp and we saw that there was no lava. So we reached the top, kind of just hung out to watch the sunrise. Yeah, no lava. And I guess we were lucky because for the past few years, there's been an eruption like a few times every hour and there's constantly lava there. And now there's still lava there, I hear, but we were there during the like 10-day period where there was no lava. So lucky us. Yeah, we hung out at the top. It was like brutally cold. You're exposed to the wind and it was just freezing.
I'm mostly keeping my hands in my pockets because it's freezing. My mouth is frozen right now. Freezing cold. Like when we were up there on the ridge next to the volcano, that was probably the like coldest experience I've had in my life. And I've been alive for over a decade. So that's saying something.
And so we were just like, all right, we reached here. It's 4:45 a.m. Sunrise is going to start at 6. Let's just like try to find a little bit of coverage to block from the wind while we shiver and freeze and like count down. The group was having a lot of fun, like singing songs and dancing and stuff, but I hadn't the energy to do it. And thank God there were 3 guys from Cancun area who were with us and brought a speaker. So they were bumping tunes like Si tu te vas jugando enamora, whatever that song is, they were playing that one. Yeah, the sunrise was beautiful. One thing that's crazy about like this Central America region in general is there's volcanoes everywhere. Like in Indonesia, climbed a volcano and I was like, man, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. And like, yeah, island chains like Indonesia have lots of volcanoes. But here, man, they're everywhere. Like volcano there, like volcanoes everywhere in this region, not just in Guatemala, also in El Salvador, probably in Nicaragua as well, also in Costa Rica. So if you're into volcanoes, this is a very cool place to be. If I were to do a Catenango again, now that I've done it, like I feel a sense of accomplishment for suffering through the hike and then making it on the way back down. But I specifically want to see the lava, which we didn't do. So if I were to do it again, I would take a horse or a car. There's like probably 80% of the way up you can drive. There's like another road. So I would drive up and then just do like the last few hours of hiking to get to see the lava. Don't feel the need to torture myself through another difficult hike. I don't know, Pablo, am I crazy? Like how difficult was that hike? I'm asking a fit person how difficult the hike was. Yeah, it was like 8 hours of uphill. Yeah, that was the thing I was complaining about was, 8 hours up. I think we went up 2,000 meters and then down 1,000 meters and then up 1,000 meters to see the volcano and then down 1,000 meters again. And then up 1,000 meters to get back to the base camp and then down a few thousand meters. Like the way up was annoying because it's slippery. So you step and you slide back. But on the way down, when you step and the ground gives, you just slide or flip over and land on your hands, on your ass.
You all right? Well, that one's going on the tube.
Like each of us fell down and slipped more than 20 times. Towards the bottom, it was especially sketchy because they guard the route on each side with barbed wire fence. It's a very thin route and like it's full of people coming up in one direction, so you bump into them and also like you bang into the barbed wire on each side. So it's, I think that was a very poor design to put barbed wire like a small walking area that's very slippery. But then once we reached the bottom, I was very happy. I had sworn to myself that I would never do it again until I remember that there are other ones that I want to do. So
and then we promised to never do this again. Hey guys, well, I regret to inform you that as we are on our walk back, we've just decided to do the 5-day one that's in Peru. Even though, like, an hour ago I swore to never do this bullshit again.
I'll probably time those with enough distance away from this one so that I forget how difficult it was. I have to do this one again so that we can swim in the lava.